We spend so much of our time telling people what to do. Our kids, our teams, even ourselves. We lecture, we give advice, we lay out all the rules. But what if the most important lessons we ever teach aren't spoken at all? What if every single day our actions are delivering a kind of silent sermon? Well, that's the powerful idea we're diving into. James Baldwin just hits the nail on the head here, doesn't he? We can talk a big game about values like kindness and respect and integrity, but the real curriculum, the one that actually gets downloaded into their brains, that's taught by imitation. The people around us, especially kids, are absolute masters of imitation. What they see us do will always, always be more powerful than what they hear us say. So let's call this the silent sermon. Think of it as this constant unspoken broadcast of who we really are. And it's not about the big grand gestures, it's about the little things, the texture of our daily lives. It's the sermon we're preaching when we think no one's really paying attention. But in reality, we've got the most attentive audience you could ever imagine. So where does this sermon actually get delivered? Well, it's not from a stage on a Sunday morning. Nope. It's preached in those small, seemingly meaningless moments that we barely even notice ourselves. These are the lessons from the sidelines, and that's the real curriculum of our lives. Okay, think about this for a second. It seems so harmless, right? Just a quick throwaway joke while you're scrolling on your phone. But to a kid listening in, that's a lesson. It's a lesson in judgment, in how we talk about other people, and in what we think is funny. Or how about this one, that frustrated sigh about how a neighbor parked their car? I mean, it feels totally justified in the moment, but the lesson being silently absorbed is all about how we handle frustration, how we react to tiny inconveniences, and really how we see the people around us. And then there's this, that quiet, kind of judgy comment about a family member's choices. You're not even saying it to them, right? Just to your partner over dinner. But little ears hear it. And they don't just hear the words, they pick up on the tone, the eye roll, the small cruelty of it all. So when we sit back and wonder, where do our kids learn to judge people or to be biased? Well, the answer is almost always staring right back at us in the mirror. They're not learning from our big speeches or the values we say we have. They are learning from the tiny actions they see, day in and day out. Okay, so how do we get more intentional about the sermon we're preaching? This is where we can take a page from the book of one of the greatest football coaches of all time, Bill Walsh. He didn't just hope for a culture of excellence, he actually designed a blueprint for it. Just look at this thing. Walsh's standard of performance wasn't about winning games. It was a super detailed blueprint for behavior. He knew that greatness doesn't come from just obsessing over the outcome. No, it comes from mastering the process, from embodying the character of a champion in every single thing you do. Let's just pull out a few of these that really jump out. Demonstrate respect for each person, not just the star quarterback, everyone. Show self-control, especially under pressure. That is huge. And use positive language. These weren't just, nice suggestions. They were non-negotiable standards of behavior that define the entire organization, from Walsh himself all the way down. And this was his whole philosophy, right? If you focus like a laser on the details of your character and your performance, if you live the standard, you don't have to stress about the final score. The results just follow. And the exact same thing is true for building the character of our kids and our teams. Now, living up to a standard like this is not easy. It takes real strength. And just like physical strength, character isn't something you're just born with. It's something you have to build through consistent practice. It's a daily workout. Aristotle told us this thousands of years ago. Excellence in anything, but especially in character, it isn't a one-time decision you make in a big crisis. It's a habit. It's something you forge through thousands and thousands of small, repeated actions. It's about what you do day in and day out. Let's think about it like strength training. A young athlete can go really hard. Heavy day, light day, heavy day. But to build sustainable, lifelong strength, that pattern has to change. You need more recovery. It becomes one heavy day, followed by maybe 2 lighter days. Well, character is the exact same. Some days are going to test you like crazy. Those are your heavy days. But you can't live at that level of intensity all the time. Sustainable virtue is built on the light days in between. So what are these light days for our character? Well, they're not days off. They're more like active recovery. It's choosing to be patient in traffic when you really don't want to be. It's choosing to be cheerful when you kind of feel gloomy. These small, consistent choices are what build that deep strength you're going to need to draw on when the truly heavy days show up. But why do all this work? I mean, this constant workout of standards and habits and daily choices, it's not just about being a good person. It's pointing towards something much, much deeper, aligning ourselves with a purpose that's bigger than our own immediate wants and needs. There's this wonderful story from the wisdom teacher Anthony DeMello that really gets at this idea. So a traveler goes to see a famous master because he wants to witness some of his legendary miracles. When the traveler asks one of the master's disciples about these miracles, the disciple makes this really profound distinction. He says, "Where you come from, it's a miracle when God does a person's will. Here, it's a miracle when a person does the will of God." Just think about that for a second. The real miracle isn't about getting what we want. It's about aligning what we want with a higher good. So what is that higher will? Leo Tolstoy offers this beautiful answer. He suggests that true love isn't just a feeling we have. It's what happens as a consequence of us recognizing and honoring that divine spark in everyone. That is the purpose we're trying to align with. That is the sermon we're trying to preach, one of universal respect and dignity and connection. So how does this alignment even happen? Well, it's a bit of a paradox. As Anthony DeMello explained, opening our eyes to this can take a lifetime of work, all those heavy days and light days of practice. But the actual moment of seeing, of really truly getting it, that happens in a flash. The transformation is built slowly, then it happens all at once. So let's end with this. Your silent sermon is being broadcast right now. Every action, every word, every single choice is another line in that sermon. The people who look up to you, your kids, your team, your friends, they aren't just listening to your words. They are watching you live. And the only question that really matters is, what do they see?